Hey, welcome to another video from the 3D comparison channel. So within this video I will talk about the pad definition within CATIA V5. So first I will start mechanical design, part design. I will create a new part, and here we have the first feature. It's the pad. So the most basic, let's say, function within CATIA that allows the users to create solid models. In order to have access to the online help, it's called like that, online help. So if you also have it with the software that you have installed, you will be able to press Shift F1. So here you have the mouse cursor, you press Shift F1, you will get this question mark around your mouse, and you can press any, let's say, function within the user interface, and you will receive the additional information. So we'll go to the pad. It will tell us that the pad creates a pad from an open or closed profile. So we have this link, more info. It will go locally, so even though it's called online help, in fact it's local, and you have to have it installed on your PC. So here we have, I currently have the version 5, release 2017. The source system. So within creating pads, what does creating pad, let's say, mean? So creating a pad means extruding a profile or a surface. This is really important when you will learn, let's say, more advanced stuff about CATIA. You will see this, that on top it's a surface. You can use it on its own in one or two directions. So pad extrudes a profile in one or two directions. So if you don't have access to this, you can still reach, let's say, a similar one. If you will go like this, CATIA free documentation on any search platform, you will have this CATIA doc.free.fr CATIA P3 homepage. So this is for release 20. That's, I think, 2010. So let's say CATIA wiki. Let's see the release version of this. It's 2010, 16th of February. So there you will have a similar help, similar to this one. So I can click over here, open the pad one cut part document. So I will click over here. The browser will start, let's say, it doesn't really download, it only open. I will say, okay, save that file as, and if I go to my downloads folder, I have it over here. So pad 1, it has been, let's say, created now, and I can open it and drag it within my software. So right now I have another part, it's called pad 1 cut part, the same name as the file that I just downloaded. And here we have a sketch with two bodies. So first is part body with sketch 1, it's this profile, and over here body 2 with sketch 2. Okay, so for the first one, we will go to the pad definition. I will select the first sketch and I will click the pad. We will have this preview. So from default, it will add 20 millimeters on top of my surface. So here is my surface, and it will create 20 millimeters. I can go reverse side, and it will go in the other direction. So we have this or this. We have mirror extend that will double. Let's say now it will add 20 up, 20 down. If I go 10, it will mirror that. So around that middle section, it will mirror any, let's say, dimension. If I uncheck the mirror extend, I have the possibility to go, let's say, to add another dimension. So for my profile, I want 10 millimeters to the bottom and 20 towards the upper section. In total, I have 13. Okay, So if I go with measure between, I will click that edge and this one, I will receive this, the 30 millimeter dimension. Okay, so what is really, let's say, interesting is that you have a limit, so the length values cannot exceed 1 million millimeters. So now I have 30 millimeters. If I will go and edit that, so you can double click on your feature within the left side of the screen. If you don't have it by any means, you can press F3, so function 3, it will display it. Or maybe you have it, let's say, position in a different position. You go with the mouse cursor on top of any of these link branches on these lines. You click it, and then you can drag, let's say, this in another direction. But usually it's over here in the left. You can also scale it. So while you are dragging this with the middle mouse, your part will be let's say gray and frozen. Now if you want to zoom in, so if I try to zoom in, I will zoom in and zoom out within this branch. In order to go back to the standard CATIA V5, let's say, visualization and navigation within the viewport, you just have to reactivate it with the mouse cursor. Click any of these branches. Okay, so regarding that, if I go, let's say I want this length to be 1 million. Let's see how many zeros, one more. I will receive this, and it will tell me that it exceeds the model size. So if I go, okay, like this, 99,010 millimeters. Okay, like this, it will go in two directions. But keep in mind, for a single direction, that's the limit. Okay, so I can go like this, and it will work. I will try to add some more. I will be over that. So for a single, let's say, parameter, you cannot exceed 1 million millimeters. Good. So let's see. Here we have the mirror extend in two directions. So some little more about the profiles that we add. So about the profiles, it's really important that we have profiles that are not self-intersecting. So let's see. I will put something more decent for this, so 10 millimeters, 10 and 10. I want to edit now that initial sketch that we just extruded. We can go and double click on the sketch one, and it will open us that sketch. So here is that sketch. If I want to change the values, let's say for this edge it's 103 millimeters, I want it to be 90. So we have this. Okay, so the sketch will still be easily extruded, but if I have this over here, you see it's now a self-intersect. So the loop is going over here, it's a straight edge, and then this, let's say it's an arc, 3-point arc. It's going into a self-intersection. So if I have it like this, I exit the sketch, my part will become red. So usually red means error within CATIA. So we have over here on this branch, we have the update button loop. So over here we have the update all button. I will press it, and we will receive an update diagnosis. For part 4, we have this pad 1. The selected sketch is self-intersecting. Okay, so we can either go to edit it, and we need to fix that self-intersect in order to have that pad working. So I will drag it like this. Now it's no longer self-intersecting. we still don't have the part because it requires an update. I will press the update and we have the part. So keep in mind, for sketches it's really important to not have them self-intersecting. Okay, let's see some additional stuff regarding pad. You can create the sketches either in the sketch module, so over here, sketch, or some in generative shape design, but we will go for that in another lesson. Okay, let's talk a bit about the limits. So what are these? Up to next, up to last, up to plane, up to surface. For each individual one, you can click it and you will have another, let's say, part. You can follow this, so you can download part 2 and follow step by step, but I will make another, let's say, part for that. For this, I will select this sketch, this plane, Z and X. I will define a profile. Let's zoom out a bit, something like this. I want the up to next and up to last function to highlight those. I'm really not gonna get into constraining or try to make this sketch, but I will make it, let's say, like this, a little bit not fully closed. So let's see, I left there a little gap. If I exit the sketch, I have this E with a real long bottom part. I will try to extrude it. I see that the software is able to define the pad, even though my profile was not fully merged. So if you see over here, the software will add this small line in order to close my profile, in order to be able to do the pad. So we also have this at the bottom over here, a few notes about pads. However, if the application can generate an intersection between both profiles endpoints, so in our case for this profile it was able to do that, it will produce a pad as in the following example. So we have at the bottom an example. The profile chosen is an arc of circle. Although there is no existing geometry can trim the pad to be created, the application was able to generate the pad. But as you see, it has this little edge over here, so it created two lines, one over here, one over here. They are not tangent, so not fully round. Okay, so in some cases the software will be able to do this, but usually when you don't close your sketch like this, the software is not, let's say, always able to do that. So if I will close this and try to extrude it like this, it says topological operators, invalid profile body. Okay, I can preview it. I cannot, let's say, end this pad definition. The sketch is not suited for this operation because it has this open edge. If you have, let's say, more complex sketches and you don't know where the loop is, you can always use the tools, and here you have the sketch analysis option. You need to be, let's say, within the sketch, and you will have this sketch analysis. So we see geometry, implicit profile, open, 12 curves, and we have this end distance. We also have the dimension, so it's 1.177 millimeters, the gap. I can click it. I will have this, let's say, annotation. It will show me, okay, here on this region you have an open loop. Try to fix it, then the pad will work better. So for small gaps, usually the software will add a geometry, but keep in mind it will create a geometry like this, so with straight lines. So I will just close it. I can either select this point and the other point by holding down the control key, then go to the constraint definition, and I will put coincidence. So now my profile is fully closed. I can verify that within Tools, Sketch Analysis. I see it, my profile is fully closed. I will exit the workbench, start the pad command. I will add, let's say, 40 millimeters. So we have this sketch. Now I want to talk about this, the limits. So limits. You will notice that by default the application specifies the length of your pad, type, dimension option. So this was the option that we just used. Where can we see that? When we go to the pad definition, over here, type, dimension. So we specify exactly how much, let's say, in our case now it's width, but usually it's height if we have it positioned like this. So what's, let's say, the amount of material in millimeters that you are adding? Basically that's padding. So it's by default set to dimension, but if we want to go to the other features, I will need to create another sketch. So on this elongated E, I will select this bottom surface, create a sketch. Now I can, and if I create a circle over here, I mean that, let's say, section of the part. But if you are not that familiar with CATIA, you can go cut part by sketch plane, and you can rotate in 3D and you will see exactly where you are when you position this newer sketch. We also see the preview of our profile, the E-shape profile. And I will position a sketch over here. If this is, let's say, bothering me, I can just select the sketch 2 and hide it. Okay, that's a leftover from the file that we just opened. Now I want to position this circle right into the middle, so make it equidistant. To do that, you can either constrain it to 20, because we know that this length is 40. But if you don't know the, let's say, exact dimension and you don't want to start to measure or see what's the distance, you can use the equidistant option. So like this, you can measure. We saw it's 40 millimeters. Here we have the notation. So if I want to position it without measuring or knowing, I can select one edge, the other edge, and lastly the point that you want to, let's say, position. Then open the constraint define in dialog box and click the equidistant point option. Okay, so now we've centered it like this. Again, I can do the same over here. So between this surface, you can either use surface or edges. It's not only one way. Okay, and again, equidistant. So now I have that position right in the middle on both directions. I will exit that sketch, and now if I go to pad, by default I have the type set to dimension, so I can specify exactly how many millimeters I want it to. I can drag like this. I can input the value over here, so 80. It will see that I will go within this top surface. Or I can go to the other types. So first limit, I will say up to next. So the software, when I go to up to next, will analyze the part that we already have modeled, and it will search for the next surface that it can latch to. So we have up to next. I see that the projection of this circle, it will be over here. I can click preview, and I already have that defined. Or I can go up to last. So again, the software will analyze, and it will see this will be the last. Okay, so it won't be this the last because it already has material on this side. So it will be the same. If I go until this position or this, the output will be the same because the part is solid. I already have material over here. Or I can go up to plane, and I can specify a plane. Okay, so it's important to maintain the, let's say, reference from that. Or I can go up to surface and again position it to a surface. it will go over there up to surface, and the limit will be this. With preview you can see it going over there. Okay, so basically this was the, let's say, basic feature about pad. I hope that it will help you. Let's see, I didn't talk about the invert, okay, mirror extend, about the tick option. So let's talk about the tick option. If I click it, the software will then do this. We'll create a small profile around our the profile that we defined, and it will add thickness to that. So now we have the, let's say, limit set to 1 millimeter. I will go to 10. Let's see, in preview this will be, so 10 thickness 1 will mean 10 towards the middle. If I go 10 over here, it will be to the outside of my profile. So I can add geometry like this, or I can create a neutral fiber. This will go in the middle of my profile. So where I have my profile defined, if I press 5, it will go 2.5 in one direction, 2.5 in the other direction. Overall, from my sketch, I will have 2.5 millimeters interior and exterior of that profile. Okay, so this is the tick profile. It will require an update. The update won't work like this. So let's see exactly what's the issue. It has a problem with this because I already position these as references. They have been changed. What exactly? This surface and this surface, they have been offsetted by the tick command. As you can see here, it's a gap, and this plane is no longer, let's say, usable as a reference. So I only have to delete those, and I can reposition these to have those other faces. So this, lastly the circle, equidistant, in order to position it according to the new geometry. Okay, so I need to modify absolute axis. Okay, you still have some issues regarding this. Let's see exactly what's that problem. Okay, the problem is that the sketch that was created to define this is now over here within this. So I'll just have to, let's say, change sketch support on this side. Update, specification, pad. Okay, it's set up to surface. I will go just dimension 20. This is it. So usually when you change your profile, you can end up with, let's say, errors like that. They're not really errors, you just need to update your geometry. Okay, so this should be it. I repressed the update tool because this was waiting for an update. So I hope that this tutorial helped you. If you want, let's say, more in-depth regarding this, you can go to the online documentation like this, up to next. Again, we'll have a new part. You can follow this step by step. I won't go, let's say, following this tutorial within my series of learning CATIA V5. So we have the second part. I can then open it, drag and drop it within the software, and here we have it. So basically here we have a pad and a sketch. Again, to test that up to limit, up to last, up to plane. Also over here we have some transparency. On this part it has some opacity. Okay, so I hope that this tutorial has helped you to better understand CATIA V5 pad. I will go with, let's say, a different video for each and any one of these functions. Okay, so thanks for watching. I said the video is a bit longer, it's 25 minutes. I wasn't expecting it to be that long, but hey, I hope it helped you. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.